Hugh Mangum was funny, sunny, and usually sharing a smile. He was a white man born in 1877 to a modest family in Durham, North Carolina. These were the days of Reconstruction when tensions could be deadly between blacks and whites. A little about Durham, North Carolina at the time. The beginnings of Black Wall Street building had begun. Black businessmen and women took full advantage of a climate of economic opportunity. White business leaders like the Duke family encouraged and supported them. Mangum, a self-taught photographer, grew up seeing blacks achieving, being respected in the community, and contributing to the wealth of Durham. The city was a door opener rather than a hot spot for blatant racism. So Hugh Mangum comfortably defied the Jim Crow segregation rules and took pictures of all people. At 16, he was invited to attend Trinity College, later Duke University, but instead attended Salem College, a women's college in Winston-Salem, studying fine arts. Mangum began taking pictures before 1890. Durham had a growing middle class ready to have their portraits taken. Mangum, like many businessmen at the time, traveled from town to town on their sales circuit. He set up a tent studio during Durham's tobacco sale days, at colleges, fairs, carnivals, and when the circus was in town. He visited 8 to 10 different towns a year, some more than once. He usually remained in a town for 1 to 7 days and would visit several in a row before returning to Durham for a stay of several weeks to months. Later in his career, he opened a studio in Durham, despite living in Virginia with his wife most of the year. Traveling or itinerant portraitists were not uncommon. Mangum primarily worked in North Carolina and Virginia. Salesmen often sold their goods to anybody with money, regardless of race. But Mangum set up in areas to cater to blacks and set prices that were affordable. He was respectful and careful, as shown in his portraits. I imagine that he had props like hats and wraps, but by and large, his clients presented as they wanted to be remembered. Using a penny picture portrait camera and simple backgrounds with natural light, Mangum was able to capture sharp delineations of hair, clothing, and body language. But something more. His pictures show a clever freshness in artistic style for that time. How playful and smart Mangum's personality shows through. His photos were preserved on glass plate negatives, thousands of them. When Mangum died of pneumonia in 1822 at only 44 years old, the world may have lost these images forever. After his death, his glass plate negatives were packed in a box, labeled with the date 1897. His relatives stored them in a tobacco pack barn. The barn was later used as a hen house and tool shed. They were buried under junk and chicken droppings. Mangum's nephew moved them to a greenhouse, and the box was forgotten. Around 1968, when Mangum's brother died, the house and land were sold for commercial development. With bulldozers on site, activist Margaret Nygaard negotiated an environmental impact statement to stop the demolition of the buildings. During 7 years of negotiations, the barn where the box was stored was left unoccupied. The property was finally donated to the city of Durham for a park. The treasure was discovered in 2016. Some glass negative plates were shattered, while others were preserved and restored. Art historian Deborah Willis writes that the photographs, quote, show us lives marked both by notable affluence and hard work, all imbued with a strong sense of individuality, self-creation, and often joy, end quote. It was written that seen and experienced in the present, the portraits hit at unexpected relationships and histories, and also confirm how historical photographs have the power to subvert familiar narratives. That Mangum's photographs are not only images, they are objects that have survived a history of their own and exist within a larger political and cultural history. Through progressive 21st century digital technology, Mangum's portraits demonstrate the unpredictable elements that often characterize the best art, its ability over time to evolve with and absorb life and meaning beyond the intentions or expectations of the artist. What else was happening during Jim Crow? American history means knowing unexpected truths. My thanks to Hugh Mangum and many Americans like him of all races and ethnicities for refreshing our viewpoint.